Nobody warns you about this part. You survive the income, dodge the expenses, and then tax season shows up like an uninvited relative who expects a 5-course meal. And the worst part is, most people don't even realize how much they're actually paying for the privilege of being compliant. Let's set the scene. The average small business owner spends somewhere between $1,000 and $10,000 per year just on tax preparation and compliance. And that number climbs fast once you add payroll, multi-state filings, or a side hustle that got a little too serious. We're not talking about what you owe in taxes, we're talking about what you pay just to figure out what you owe. The catalyst here is complexity, and complexity is a growth industry in America. Every time the tax code gets simplified, it somehow ends up 300 pages longer, and someone, somewhere, is billing by the hour to decode it for you. Think of it like a subscription you never signed up for. The government hands you a puzzle, accountants sell you the solution, and you pay for both. The macroeconomic reality is that compliance costs in the US total over $400 billion annually, which is basically a shadow economy built entirely around paperwork. A few years ago, the rise of DIY tax software had everyone convinced we were entering a golden age of financial self-sufficiency. TurboTax commercials made it look like filing taxes was something you could knock out during halftime. But then someone formed an LLC, bought a rental property, or hired their first contractor, and suddenly that cheerful software started throwing error codes like a confused robot. The psychological toll of this is real. There's a particular kind of dread that sets in around February when your inbox starts filling up with 1,099 forms, and you realize you don't know what half of them mean. Experts like CPA firms have noted that clients often delay planning until it's too late, not out of laziness, but out of genuine overwhelm and the false belief that it'll somehow be simpler next year. Here's the historical pattern nobody talks about. Every generation of earners hits a threshold, usually around $50,000 to $75,000 in self-employment income, where DIY stops working and professional help becomes cheaper than the mistakes. We've watched this cycle repeat itself with freelancers in the 90s, dot-com entrepreneurs in the 2000s, and now an entire army of content creators, Airbnb hosts, and crypto traders learning this lesson the hard way in real time. This is really just capitalism doing what capitalism does, creating a problem complex enough to require a professional class to solve it, and then charging you for access to that class. The community of small business owners, investors, and independent contractors has figured this out, and the loudest voices consistently say the same thing. Hire someone before you think you need to, not after you've already made the mess. Let's kill a misconception right now. Hiring a CPA or tax strategist is not just for rich people, and it's not a luxury. It's a leverage play. If a $400 per hour accountant saves you $3,000 in deductions you didn't know existed, you just turned a cost into a return on investment. The practical lesson from every seasoned investor and business owner who's been around long enough is this: budget for tax planning the way you budget for insurance, not because you want to spend the money, but because not spending it is more expensive. A reasonable benchmark is somewhere between 1% to 2% of your gross revenue for professional tax services, scaling up if you have real estate, employees, or income from multiple sources. The strategy here isn't complicated, but it does require discipline. Set aside money quarterly, meet with your tax professional at least twice a year outside of filing season, and treat your tax plan like a living document that gets updated as your financial life evolves. The people who win at this game aren't the ones with the best accountants. They're the ones who show up prepared, consistent, and without drama. There's something almost philosophical about accepting that financial adulting has a cover charge. You can resent it, or you can get organized, stay ahead of it, and let the people who are still winging it wonder why their refund turned into a bill. The discipline of managing tax costs isn't glamorous, but it is one of the highest leverage habits you can build, because every dollar you keep through smart planning is a dollar you didn't have to earn twice. And if you're comfortable with the process, the actual outcome, whether you owe or you're owed, stops being terrifying and starts being just another number you already planned for. Whether you're just starting to think about this, or you've already made a few expensive mistakes, the most important move you can make is getting the right people in your corner before the clock runs out. Check out our links in the description below. We can help you get started whether you're looking into real estate investing, need home contracting work, or want to connect with lenders who actually understand your situation.